Yo, what's good everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today it's about that time when I dropped my breakdown and prediction video on the rematch between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. So if you saw my last video, you'd know that I just rewatched and rescored the first fight, and I found that it was a lot closer a fight than I initially thought. If you're interested in that, please check out that video and come back over here. But I say all that to say that their first fight is fresh on my mind right now, so it's the perfect time to make this video. So obviously, I'm assuming we all saw the first fight. It was an incredible fight, the highest level of boxing there is from two top 10 pound for pound fighters today. I'm gonna just say it, I thought Beterbiev won. I thought he controlled the pace of the fight, he controlled the type of fight it was, he outworked Bivol, and in my opinion, in the championship rounds, it showed that he outwilled Bivol. He just wanted it more. Of course, it was a very close competitive fight. Bivol by no means was dominated. He found a lot of success with his counters and his jab and traps, and we can all agree that Bivol landed the more eye-catching shots. So what do they have to do better to win in this fight? I want to speak on Bivol first because he did lose the first fight, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering what he can do better, what he can improve on, what he can do more of, what he can do less of, all of that. So I'm just gonna get into all that. I want to discuss the good things he did in the first fight first. Obviously, the jab was great. In the rounds he won, he was very active with the jab. I also thought he had some good traps and capitalized when Beterbiev would fall for them. His straight right found the mark early and often, and as well as his 1-2. His combination punching was great. It deterred Beterbiev from pressing on when he threw his combination smart and with conviction. He moved well and he blocked well. Defense was really tight. Obviously, it wasn't perfect, but his high guard defense was really good. His timing and his accuracy to pull off the counters that he pulled off was phenomenal. I thought he varied his shots and combos well. But what really shocked me is how durable Bivol is. He can take some punishment, man. Obviously being the only guy that Beterbiev hasn't knocked out, that says a lot. Right? So I do think Bivol did really good in their first fight, but in this fight, I think it goes without saying that he has to be a lot better in all departments. For starters, I think stamina management has to be better. I don't think Bivol's conditioning isn't going to get much better, if at all, than he was in the first fight. I know Bivol pushed his limits to get in the shape that he was in for the first fight. So I don't think there's a lot of room for improvement in that department, which is unfortunate. So what he can do is just be smarter with his stamina consumption. In my opinion, his best rounds in the first fight was probably the first and 9th round. He got busy in the 9th, and it was a great bounce back round because just in the round prior, he was getting bullied around the ring. And I have this theory that Beterbiev might have taken the round off. So look, Beterbiev was coming off a rampage where he was down, for me, in my cards at least, 3-0. And in the middle rounds, he came back, he stormed back, and he made the fight even after 8 rounds. So in the 9th round, I believe that he felt a little fatigue, and he took the business decision of taking the round off because he didn't do much of anything in that round, to be honest. He tried to take opportunities if they were there, but he didn't force the issue. He didn't step to Bivol. I think early in the round, he saw that Bivol was having a good round, so he just let him have it and saved his energy for the final rounds. I think Bivol needs to incorporate something like this for their fight because he looked worn down, man. In the closing rounds, he looked really tired. I also think that the first round of their fight took a lot out of him. He came out blazing. He was very busy and mobile, and I think he was wasting a lot of energy because he was already clearly winning the round, but he was still doing too much. I think he was a little bit too amped up. In the second round, that all stopped. He made the adjustment right away, but I still think that, that first round took a lot out of him. Next that he needs to work on is his defense. Although his high guard was really tight, it was still just a high guard. It provided a target for Beterbiev to punch on, to beat on. To end the 8th round, he was literally being used as a punching bag. Go back and watch it. So I think to offset that, either he has to use his legs more or he got to clinch or slip Beterbiev's punches, because It's a terrible look in the eyes of the judges when you're blocking shots, but you're also getting ragdolled and muscled around and forced on the back foot. Like, these punches may not be the most effective, but they look effective and they allow Beterbiev to work. So, he got to change that up. Now, in terms of his game plan, I think he needs to trust in his chin and durability more and stand in the pocket and trade with Beterbiev a little bit more. Look, I know it sounds like a very counterproductive advice, but hear me out. In my opinion, Bivol is much faster than Beterbiev. He's sharper, he's more accurate, and he's a better counterpuncher. I'm telling you, call me crazy, but I really think that it could be good for Bivol. He outlanded Beterbiev in most of their firefight exchanges in the first fight. I think he needs to stand his ground more and don't let Beterbiev push him around, and just don't shell up so much. He has to fight. Beterbiev forces fights. He fights. Bivol needs to stop boxing at times and just fight. But you gotta fight smart. Know when to stand your ground and know when to box your move. I honestly think if he plants his feet more and believe that he'll catch Beterbiev, which is done time and time again, I think he can hurt Beterbiev and even drop him. Like I said, he's faster, he's more accurate, and he chooses his shots better than Beterbiev. So, hey, if he chooses to, he can actually land something devastating. He also should go to the body more. I mentioned round 9 of the first fight multiple times now, and what I thought Bivol did well in that round is that he went to the body. He varied his shots up and down. No matter how good of a shape Beterbiev is, he is still 40 years old. If you touch that stomach enough times, he's gonna feel that. He's gonna slow, so touch that body. One thing I forgot to mention that Bivol did well was that left hook. It was lethal in the first fight. Just like his straight right, he found a home for that left hook on Beterbiev's chin over and over. It was the punch that rocked Beterbiev in the 7th round. He threw it around Beterbiev's guard, which is the perfect segue to the next point, and that is to throw around the guard more often. Beterbiev's high guard is also really hard to penetrate, so Bivol should really go around instead. Alright, so that's all I got for Bivol. Moving on to the undisputed champ, Artur Beterbiev, and what I thought he did really well in that first fight. If I'm being honest, guys, I don't even think that he performed all that well. For the first time ever, his age showed in this fight. He looked slow and his energy was low in the opening rounds. Beterbiev was never really known for his explosivity, but he truly had no pep in his step in this fight. He looked slow and lumbering, and maybe it's because, Bivol was just in so much better shape and he's just so much faster that it looked like that, but that's what I saw. I thought his accuracy wasn't up to par, nor were his shot selection. What I like was his conditioning. No doubt he was tired at the end of the fight, but he did not look like he was done. He did not look gassed or out of breath at all. He was in phenomenal shape. I liked his determination and his unwillingness to have it any other way but his. I love the never say die attitude and that belief in himself that he will not be beat. He had an unwavering belief that though he might be getting outboxed, he will not lose. He cannot allow it. So he did everything he can to win the fight. He roughed up Bivol. He outworked him. Oh, there's no opening? He blasted the guard. He found ways to win and he never gave up. In my opinion, he was down, like I said earlier, as wide as 3 rounds, man. To come back from that is not easy, especially when it's Bivol on the other corner. All right, so despite him winning, I still think Beterbiev could have done so much better. For one, I thought he could have cut the ring off a little bit better. He chased Bivol a little bit too much instead of actually taking away his exit points. I think Beterbiev needs to be smarter when closing the gap as well. He can't just be throwing a single jab to try to close the distance. Beterbiev fell for Bivol's traps numerous times, and him walking into range without thinking of the consequences is what caused that, in my opinion. There's a lot of moments where he wasn't mindful when entering Bivol's firing range. He needs to close the gap a little bit smarter. Same advice I gave to Bivol, I would like to give to Beterbiev, and that is the fact that he needs to throw around Bivol's guard more. He kept trying to penetrate Bivol's high guard, which did work at times, but if he used that same energy into finding the spot behind Bivol's ears instead of right down the middle, I think he could have hurt Bivol He also needs to throw more uppercuts. When he did get in and smother Bivol, he kept going to the hooks. I thought maybe a few more uppercuts would work wonders in splitting Bivol's defense. Of course, in my humble opinion, the one glaring mistake Beterbiev made was not going to the body enough. I was screaming at the TV for him to invest in the body early. He stabbed down there in the first round with his jab, but he got away from it and he would only come back periodically. He needs to find his inner Benavidez and keep the body in mind at all times. Do not neglect the body work, especially if you are going against a mobile fighter. It's the best way to slow them down so you can force them to fight your type of fight. Touch that body. In terms of game plan, I think Beterbiev needs to be aggressive earlier. He didn't do enough in the first 3 rounds of their first fight. I think he needs to step to Bivol earlier, rough him up earlier, make it physical earlier, establish dominance earlier, because in doing so, this will tire Bivol faster. We all saw the first fight. Beterbiev looked fresher of the two in the championship rounds. I think despite his age, Beterbiev is in better condition than Bivol. He can outlast Bivol in a war of attrition. And honestly, like I said earlier, what the championship rounds showed us is that he can also outwill Bivol. So, just start a little bit earlier and trust that you can outlast the man opposite of you if it comes down to that. Now, he did a lot of this, and I think he should do it a lot again. And that is to punch with Bivol, because it's clear to me that Bivol doesn't like to get hit. That's why his volume dwindled down as the fight went on, because he was too busy trying to fend off Beterbiev's attack. If Beterbiev punches with Bivol, he can lower Bivol's offensive output. Trading with Bivol also favors him because he's obviously the much heavier puncher of the two. So if he lands, it's going to be the much more impactful, effective shot. Now, I know I said Bivol should also trade more with Beterbiev, but guys, both things can be true at once. I think whoever wins those exchanges is going to play a massive role in the result of this fight, okay? And I think both of them are capable of it, all right? So these are the things that I think both fighters got to improve on. But who do I think will actually pull it off? And guys, I went with him in the first fight, and I'm going to go with him again. I think Artur Beterbiev will do the thing again. Guys, Bivol is an incredible fighter. Definitely still number 2 despite the emergence of Benavidez. But Beterbiev is the guy in the light heavyweight division, and he's always been that guy. I just think the things I'm asking for Bivol to do, the things he needs to do is just too much. It might just be too much. It's asking for a perfect fight out of Bivol. I brought up stamina management. Maybe it's just that he got tired quicker than Beterbiev because he exerted a lot more energy trying to keep Beterbiev off of him. I think it takes a lot to earn Beterbiev's respect, and Bivol was doing great, but his punch output declined as the fight went on, and he got slower and a little more sloppy because he just got tired. And I think that's because that's what happens when you fight a monster like Beterbiev. The power he possesses, so you try your hardest to stay away and keep him at range, but it takes a lot out of you, right? And even when he did land his best shots over and over, Beterbiev wasn't truly deterred. Yes, maybe he stopped advancing for 3, 4, 5 seconds, but he was right back at it after. He just doesn't stop, guys. How many clean power shots did Bivol land? All for Beterbiev to keep powering forward. It's crazy. I also asked him to trade more with Beterbiev, but he already did that, and he won most of those exchanges, but it still had very minimal effect on Beterbiev. Maybe it's just not Bivol's temperament to go shot for shot with someone like Beterbiev anyway. Maybe Bivol will win most of those exchanges, but he's certainly not winning them all. So once he gets touched, I think he strays away from the game plan because he knows it's dangerous. It's human instinct to take ourselves out of dangerous situations. It's natural. And if we're talking game plans, well, to be perfectly honest, I thought Bivol's game plan was good in the first fight, but he just couldn't execute it for 12 straight rounds. Each round with a knockout artist like Beterbiev is very, very long. Bivol did well in the first half, but he faded. So in this fight, I'm sure his team will probably conjure up another great game plan. They're going to come in prepared, you know. But being able to withstand Beterbiev's attacks and persist and continue to follow the game plan for 12 rounds is a tall order for anybody. You know, maybe you were just asking way too much for Dmitry Bivol. And we cannot forget the fact that Artur Beterbiev was also coming off a major knee surgery, a surgery that retires athletes, especially at an advanced age at 40 years old. Now, he's even further away from that injury, so one would think that he'll come in even better shape, which honestly is a scary thought. I will say this though, after the fight, Bivol took the loss very, very well. He took it like a champ, no excuses, nada. But in recent interviews, if you look at his demeanor, you can see his energy isn't the same. He is pissed about that loss and he wants it back in blood. So shit, if he finds it in himself to go against everything he is and go shot for shot with Beterbiev, then yo, respect. Like I said earlier, I really think he's capable of hurting and dropping Beterbiev. If he catches him with a shot he sat down on, that's gonna be one hell of a scene. I'm telling you guys, do not be surprised. Now that we are on the topic of interviews, man, both of these guys are cold, both stoic, humble, and respectful. But one thing that stuck out to me was that in one interview, Beterbiev was, cheerful. He was cracking jokes and smiling. And then the interviewer asked him if he feels bad for Bivol for the L he gave him, and he said no, with his face stone cold. I have zero doubt in my mind that this guy will not budge. Even though he won, he will not back down and he will not let up. I don't think he likes Bivol very much. I don't think they like each other, which is awesome, because it's genuine. They're not trying to sell the fight, but you can see it. They don't like each other. They want to win. They want to beat the other guy down. They want to beat him down. So I have no doubts in my mind that this fight is going to be another modern classic. And just like I did for the first fight, I'm going for a Beterbiev knockout. I think Beterbiev comes in better shape with a better game plan and he'll execute. I think Bivol would try his hardest to make sure he wins rounds clearly. I think he'll stand and fight more in hopes of getting Beterbiev's respect, in hopes of a knockdown or a knockout even. And in doing so, he opens up more. And I think Beterbiev will hurt him and force the ref to save him. I think Beterbiev does go to the body and he'll take the sting out of Bivol's punches and he'll close the gap easier because of that. And then eventually he'll slow Bivol enough to corner him and he'll maul him multiple times until the ref shows mercy and stops the fight. Honestly, I can even see Beterbiev landing a body shot that floors Bivol in agonizing pain, unable to beat the count. Kind of like how he did against Marcus Brown. All right. So that's what I think. I really, really want to know what you guys think, who you guys think will win and how. So please comment down below who you guys got and how they're going to win and why. And please leave a like and subscribe. I really want to thank you guys so much for watching, for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And I hope you have a lovely day.